Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video we are going to be stopping working on our 1960 Bolens Ride-a-matic. Now this is for a number of reasons. First and foremost, we think we're at the point in this project now where we need to go around with a releasing agent, spraying it on all of the seized bolts, and we're going to do that pretty often so that when we come to actually take this thing apart, we're not snapping bolts left, right and centre. Now, while we're unseizing all of these bolts, we can't really be working on the tractor because we'd like everything to be unseized first before we start taking things apart. So this is probably going to go into a storage place while we do that, which is a lot easier now that it's actually manoeuvrable since we've put these new tyres on. Now, in other news, we're currently working on doing a deal with a friend for some Ride-a-matic parts, which will help us with this project. And also, we haven't forgotten about the red Bolens 1253 project. It's just we don't have the time today, really, to do the necessary job on that. So what we're going to be doing is getting out our next project from our storage container. Now, it's very windy outside, so I'm not sure what footage we'll be able to get because you might not be able to hear us, and it being in our steel storage container, that gets quite noisy in there when there's a lot of wind. We're in our steel container now, and we seem to have dumped a lot of tyres and wheels in here since the last time we were in here getting a tractor out. Now, the tractor we want to get out is this one here, the Wheelhorse Raider 10, which this isn't the only Wheelhorse in here. We've got the 2D series at the back there, the D200 and the D160. So all the Wheelhorse people have been waiting for a project for a few years. Here you go. And quite ironically, it's sitting next to its Bolens competitor at the time, the G10, which this is our G10 with the Haban sickle bar mower on. But what we're now going to do is move these wheels out of the way and winch this onto the trailer. So we've got the Raider in here now on the trailer still. We used the front hitch on the 1962 Bolens Ride-a-matic because it was quite tight getting out of the storage container. But what we'll do is we'll get it in a better position and then we can give you a bit of a tour around it. We've flipped the tractor around on the trailer now, so we can give you a bit of a walk around. But to start with, I'll give you some information about this. Dad bought it in January of 2010, so 12 years ago now, and he used it for grass cutting mainly. But the engine smoked quite a lot, I believe. We're not sure of the age of this tractor, so if anyone knows when these Raider 10s were made, it would be nice to know. Please leave it in the comment section down below. And you can see it's in very good original condition with paintwork and the decals. But let's get to some of the interesting points around the tractor. You can see this front left wheel has definitely seen better days. I think that had quite a few thorns puncture that. And the other side, I believe, holds air, but this one doesn't, which made it a bit of a pig to get out of storage. And if we flip the hood up quickly, I don't want to even know what that fuel smells like in there because it's probably very disgusting. Now, the engine in this is a Tecumseh HH100, so 10 horsepower. It's the same engine as in a Bolens G10, which I believe it's unusual for a Wheelhorse having a Tecumseh engine because I think most of them have colas in. Just latch that back up. Now, we can see on the lift rod here, it's different to a Bolens, because a Bolens would have the different slots that you could move it into, whereas this has this limiter bit here, which you can adjust to suit what you want. And then once you pull the lift lever, that hits that and stops it from going any further. Which, speaking of the lift mechanism, on this tractor we used it, as I mentioned earlier, for cutting grass, and we only recently took the deck off to put it into storage. Now, moving backwards here, it's got all of the gears, it goes into all of the gears, and the selector's quite nice on this. I think I'd probably prefer this to a G10 selector. And on a Bolens, you would have the toolbox under the seat, and this has a very similar thing. If I push the latch, however, it is different because, give me a second, you pull the rear fender back, and then you've got this toolbox space here, which, that's quite nice. Then if we go to the back here, we can see it's got a Wheelhorse slot hitch on here, which someone has modified to be permanently in a certain position, and then they've put this tow hitch on the back of it. However, they've still left the original tow hitch on there, which is helpful, and the rear light, the cover and stuff, has been long removed. One thing that's damaged on this tractor is the front lights, which I think this was damaged while it was in storage, which is a shame because these front lights on these Raiders look very nice when they're all complete. Now, moving around, we did just put some WD-40 on the engine, and you can see the difference between the side where we've put it on and where we haven't. So we're being optimistic, and we think that pretty much all of the paint will come up quite nicely on this. Now, unwisely, we opened the fuel tank, and you can see what we found as well. It's that magic green petrol again, which this has got half the tank of it. We found a pretty similar thing in the Bolens 1253. Just this stuff stinks even more. After a bit more investigation and looking around the tractor, we've noticed a couple more things. First of which, someone's put an extension on the oil drain to make oil changes easier, which is definitely not original, but it's definitely helpful. And someone seems to have welded a bit of box section to the deck support as well. Now for our plans for this tractor. Now the first step, which we were wanting to do today but we don't have the parts for it, is fixing the problem of this front tyre, which would probably be a new inner tube, so that this is actually manoeuvrable, which it isn't at the moment, and then we could move it around as much as we wanted. So we don't have the parts for that, because unlike Bolens, we don't have too many of these tractors, so we don't have a large parts stock for them. And then after that, what we'd like to do is clean out the fuel system and try and get the engine running, see if that smoking problem has magically solved itself after sitting there, and then hopefully after getting it to start and run, we'll see what other problems come up. But that's it for this video. Let us know what you think of our Wheelhorse Raider 10 in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Please subscribe to my channel, like this video and see our other videos. More to follow as we do more on this tractor. Bye!